Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, The Warden and the Paunch. We have some stuff to talk about here. So, first of all, I do want to say I'm really pleased that the Chaos thing ended as quickly as it did. In my experience, the Chaos invasion is almost never interesting and pretty much just exists to be an annoyance that distracts you from the thing you were trying to have fun doing. So I'm very happy that it has gone away so quickly. I don't know if they must have changed it or something, because we've definitely had Mortal Empires games where the Chaos Invasion goes on for like dozens and dozens and dozens of turns. It just takes forever to put down. So happy that that's gone. Now we have different problems though. If we go and look at our diplomatic situation here, you can see we currently have 205 positive reputation with these guys and 104 negative reputation. 92 points of our positive reputation is from gifts given, and those points will decay very quickly when we stop giving gifts, which we're going to have to because we can't afford to keep giving them gifts at the rate we've been giving them. In addition, it kind of seems like giving them the gifts isn't helping, it's not getting us there. We saw the military alliance with a likelihood of success moderate at the end of the last episode, but then loading up the game, like, I've done nothing. This is exactly where we stopped yesterday. For some reason, now it's likelihood of success low. I'm concerned that no matter what we do, they may just never be willing to take the military alliance. And if that's the case, we're just going to have to fight them in order to get control of a large enough number of the important objective cities. There's no way to do it without fighting them, I don't think. Because 16 of these, like, are there even... We currently have control of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Sartosa's not theirs. The Galleon's Graveyard isn't theirs. The Awakening is currently controlled by pirates. We could deal with that. It looks like the Dark Elves have completely taken over Ulthuan. So in order to get Gainvale and Lothern, I'm sure Lothern is theirs, and Nagarond is definitely theirs. So in order to get any of that stuff, we'd have to fight the Dark Elves, who are the only force that is larger and more powerful than the Skaven. We don't have any idea what's going on with Hexawatl. It looks like this stuff is probably under Skaven control. There is a Skaven clan that starts in this area, I know. Lamia we could get via Alliance. But yeah, even all of those together, plus what we have here, is not enough. Yeah, I think we do end up having to fight the rats if we can't get the military alliance. So, I think that's doable. I think in general, Skaven are pretty bad against greenskins. Their units are not capable of standing against ours in melee. They don't really have any cavalry to speak of. What they do have is an awful lot of guns, and guns can be tough for orcs to deal with, but we don't necessarily think that the AI is going to build their armies in an optimal way, right? Like, we know they use a lot of warp grinders, which are just, they're nonsense troops, and they do a lot of this garbage where, like, to be perfectly honest, 1 or 2 units of Black Orcs could probably kill this whole army. And it's also probably worth noting, is Prague built up? No. Where do we see a Skaven settlement that has had time to build? Okay, Zavastra. Zavastra's a fair example. So it's got a garrison building, right? It's not a completed garrison building because it doesn't have the walls. But you can see here, the troops that they put in their garrisons, the basic clan rats and the even worse, like, these units are horrible at fighting orcs. So, even in the places where they built up proper garrisons, do we have a walled settlement? Here, Eilhart, perfect. Okay, they get catapults. I mean, as everyone should. Every maxed out garrison building should have at least one big ranged weapon, and it's absurd that ours don't. But still, clan rats and garbage. So many of their, basically any minor settlement, even if it's fully developed, is still going to be a very easy take for us. So we could really rampage across their stuff, probably quite effectively. However, 145 settlements. We have this huge border with them And they'd be attacking us across all parts of it because a combination of having 145 settlements and the AI's resource, let's call it efficiencies, or cheats if you want to be a little bit more blunt about it. It means that they're going to have 300 armies, right? It's just going to be nonstop dudes running across the border and attacking us, and we're not going to be able to stop at least some of it. Basically, my concern with the Skaven War is not that we would lose it, but that it would be very long and annoying more than fun. So I'm a little torn on what path to try to proceed along here. If we could get the military alliance, as we should be able to, as we absolutely should have had the option to get already, then things conclude in a pretty simple way that is also kind of like, it's neat to have allies and to get to work together with your allies. And the AI's behavior introduces a little bit of unpredictability, which is fun, I think. But if we have to fight them, it's going to totally suck. So, we've been talking about the long campaign victory objectives, which require us to get Nagashazar and take all these settlements and whatnot. There is a short campaign victory that we're pretty close to, and we could just take that and call it a day. Because, again, I'm concerned that the long war against the Skaven is going to be fun for a little while, and then it's going to get a little boring, and then there's still going to be 300 turns of war left after the point where it becomes a little boring. So I don't know. What I'm saying right now is I'm reserving the right to audible into a short campaign victory. We have all of the objectives except for this one. We control currently 6 of the things on this list. We'd need to get 8. That's totally doable. For right now, we have to decide, do we want to try to keep giving them gifts, or do we want to let our reputation settle with them? It's going to settle negative. The persistent numbers are pretty bad for us. And it's clear that they're, we can see, their opinion of our military alliance fluctuates even within the same turn. Because again, this was moderate at the end of the last video, even though that was the same turn that we're on right now. So it's really hard to know if we could ever get it. If we could get it, we'd have to continue paying them to keep reputation high enough that they wouldn't break it. But honestly, I'd be down for that. Alright. For the moment, we need to move these guys. We need to move our armies somewhere. Let's see. We're currently at war with just the Wood Elves, right? I think that's the only faction. We could come down here and stomp some Wood Elves. Clan Moors might appreciate that. If we were going to go to war with Clan Moors, we'd definitely want to wait until our reputation meter filled again before we start things, so I guess we have some time to figure things out. Let's move our units in that general direction. Is Volksgrad going to be okay without... Okay, well, there's no reason to have extortion turned on. We can try to max Volksgrad out. I mean, another thing that we really want to happen before we go to war with them, if we do end up going to war with them, is we need them to move their armies out. So we need there to be some time here where they don't think there's a reason to keep this area full of troops. So basically, my point is, we're not ready to really make this decision yet. So where does Wazhumpa go? I guess we're going to need defenses over in this area. We need you to get to Marienburg. That's what I need from you. Alright, Furt is... Yep, he's exactly where he needs to be, and then we need to bring some of these... We need to bring all of these heroes back. I don't have any idea exactly where. But yeah, I am not looking forward to several hundred turns of fighting teleporting Skaven. I think one of the things that's coolest about the Mortal Empires map is the huge variety of forces that you can end up against. It's a lot less fun when you're just fighting the same guys forever. So we're gonna get pretty close to 30,000 gold next turn. We can make it up. We can demand gifts from some of our allies, and they'll pay us, and then we'll use that money to pay. So I'm gonna not spend any other money on anything this turn. Yeah, we're still waiting for that to finish developing. Don't want to do anything here. Okay, here, this is probably worth the spend. It's an extra 100 gold per turn. It pays itself off pretty quickly. And none of the other things we could do here would increase our income. I guess in Middenheim, if we upgrade Middenheim, then we could build a Raiden stash, but that would be the only thing. Oof. And we need to, if we're gearing up for war with the Skaven, we also need to make sure that there are defenses absolutely everywhere, and that is going to be a real nightmare. Alright, I am going to build that. I think that's reasonable. Spending money to make money totally still works. This is going to be a real nightmare of a war. So we'd have to position troops. We'd want to have like 2 armies up in this area because we want to collapse all that stuff immediately so they don't build armies in the middle of our territory. And then we'd also have to have troops in like defensive positions along the border. We'd want to mostly play defense down there. Okay, the Skaven are declaring war on a bunch of people. The Spine of Sotek Dwarves and the Hunts Marshals Expedition. So those are both factions that are on the southwestern continent. Oh wait, are the Spine of Sotek Dwarves? I can't remember. There's a dwarf faction in the mountains right here, and then there's another one in the mountains over there, and I can't remember which one of those is the Spine of Sotek. It's probably this one. Yeah, that's a pretty weird thing. I don't know why the Skaven would need to declare war on those guys. But hey, anything that keeps their eyes off of us. Oh, also the Norskins. That could be an issue. I do not know how we're going to handle all of the stuff we have to handle at the same time here. Alright, Watsampa, you already have orders. What am I doing? So where exactly do we want to put people? Oh, well, we need somebody to sail out of Erengrad and get paid. So whose job is that? Let's make it Rachnik's. I think Rachnik's army with all the spiders and stuff might actually be the strongest army at the moment. So let's have him, have him do this thing. You should just go to, boy, where does it even make sense to go? We're probably talking about quite a few turns here, right? Because we need to let the reputation bar completely reset. I guess we can head some of these armies over in the general direction of the Wood Elves and maybe make something happen with the Wood Elves. We probably have more heroes than we need at the moment. You can... man, I don't know. Your skill points are imaginary. It doesn't actually matter that you are leveling up in any way. Alright, Nubzub also just kind of in the general direction of Elftown. And then we would need 3,000 gold to make another big gift here, which I think is probably a little, it's a little more than you want to try to ask for from a single ally. I think we're unlikely to get 3,000 gold. But when you're allied with a faction, when a faction has a significant amount of positive opinion of you, you can just ask them for money, and they will do it. I'm assuming this is way too much, but like, what about 2? No, 2's too much. 1. They might do 1. Okay, let's try that with Libaras as well. Alliance with Libaras would cost us reputation with the others, so let's not do that thing. How about 1,500? Low? Well, 500's very low. What about 1,000? Okay. And then does anybody else like us enough that they might give us money? I suppose. Maybe Clan Moors? Oh, see, now it's yellow again. It's very arbitrary, it feels like. They would like us to join their war. Well, What do we do? We're trending toward 83 now. You can see our gifts to Clan Moors have already lost quite a few points there. Those points decay pretty quickly. Okay, counter offer. You give me 1,000 gold? I'm pretty sure asking for gifts from them does not... Yeah, it doesn't lower our opinion, or their opinion of us. I'm going to ask for 1,000 gold, then I'm going to give them their 1,000 gold back. And they're going to love that. Okay. Oh yeah, that didn't change anything. Okay, what about a military alliance, and also, I will give you all this money. And also, I'll join your war. I'll join both of your wars. That's how much I value our friendship. Right there. Ah, that's a shame. Well, we should still probably join their war. Here, let's give them the 30,000 gold we were intending to give them. This isn't really costing us very much. Like, we wouldn't be using this money for anything else. And then... Do I want to try to hold off on the join war thing? I was going to say we should join their war just because being at war with their enemies will give us a little bit of reputation. You can see we're getting 8 points for war with the Awakened, even though we have done nothing. Like, we haven't actually done anything in that war. But also, joining the war gives us a little bit of diplomatic weight. You know what? I'm just going to jump in. We're going to do it. Here's a gift. Alright, so now we're trending toward 146. They did perceive that as a gift. Like I said, those points, for some reason, that's changed our likelihood of success. Oh, because they no longer feel as overmatched against those guys, I guess. Well, we didn't really have a lot of other options. Okay. So hopefully we're going to make a fair amount of money in the bay here off of these couple of points of interest in the sea. We're about that population surplus in the wasteland means that we are now 1 point of population away from being able to cap out Marienburg. That's, there's a fair amount of gold per turn that's going to come in when we finish that off. Yeah, and like a lot of these armies are not terribly impressive. They do have some guns, though. I would imagine any one of our armies with WoW backup is going to be pretty hard for even a couple of Skaven armies together to deal with, unless they build a ton of Rattling guns. And even if they do, there are ways that we can use, sneakiness and terrain and stuff. Direct fire weapons have some serious drawbacks. Who knows? We might be able to beat a well-gunned army. Orion wants a peace treaty. I don't particularly want peace with you. I'm not afraid of you, and fighting you is good for me, so... Getting a little worried about how much time Clan Mulder is spending with their fancy units at my settlement. Okay, so our glorious walk has ended. We've gained some wog mobs, got some scrap. It looks like, when you finish a big wa, it puts you at, is that 30? Yeah, that's excellent. So you don't spend any time in the -5 obedience pool at all. That's actually lovely. This thing here, is this the Plague guy? Oh no, this is a Doom Engineer. His whole thing is that Cause Earthquake ability there sacrifices this unit, but lowers the main settlement building's level in a settlement. So that's a thing that they should definitely not do to me. I'd be very cross if that occurred. Alright, we gotta get toward the Wood Elves. Somebody's gotta kill all of these elves. Huh, that's interesting. The amount of movement that... Oh, right, because Wog movement is really bugged. Okay. We are no longer in Wog mode, so we have our proper run speed now. We have a bunch of units here that... somebody should probably stay in the Drakenhof area, or at least... We were probably going to want people in the Drakenhof area when the war with the Skaven is closer to kicking off, if it does indeed look like it's going to kick off. But I suppose that's not a right now concern. That's a few turns away. So, how are you feeling about me right now? 97 toward 128. Military Alliance red. Alright, we'll just keep watching those numbers climb. And most of our... Okay, so we're 10 turns off of this. I don't think we want to do anything else here. I think we want that Marienburg port upgraded. I think we're going to do a lot of waiting right now. Talabheim is as valuable as it's going to get. I mean, pretty much same deal here. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of turns where we just move our armies around. Yeah, geez, look at the movement we have access to. If anything, when you have your WOG up, like I get for balance reasons, when you have a WOG, you're very powerful, and so they maybe want to slow you down a little bit. But really, for it to feel like the crashing of the Great Green Tide as it's supposed to, you should probably be faster during the WOG than you are normally. It should be a time of great threat. So I do like that it seems like a lot of Clan Wars' armies are retreating out of the little pocket they have inside of our territory. That's good long-term news if we can't get this alliance going. Apparently the Khemri are content to just lose army after army after army to just kind of anyone who happens to be nearby. I'm not trying to say that I'm the most expert military strategist, but this doesn't seem like a great plan to me. Now, it is probably worth noting that we are going to be regarded as much weaker than we were a few turns ago. Lorelorn Forest has declared proper war on us, invited by the other Wood Elves. Well, Wazhump is just going to have to turn, then. I think we can handle that, probably. We got a nomadic horde of extra fighty savage orcs are close, and are probably not a thing that I have to worry about. Now, they are keeping 2 armies up here at Prague. I don't care for that. That's a thing that needs to not be the case. Don't know that we can do much about it, sadly. Okay, we will absolutely face a foe in battle, and boy, there's no reason to do this manually. This is a real slaughter. Alright, show me a great big huge pile of gold. 20,000. 20,000's pretty good. Also, 10 melee attack, plus 10 damage, plus 10%. Wow, that's a pretty good axe. As far as axes go, that's a cool one. And then we have every other thing that... Okay, so the only thing we can spend this on is wound. Rachnik himself is... We're not getting anything terribly exciting out of him. He has just enough movement to make it to the other point of interest. Geez. Do we want a battle buff? No, we probably want a campaign buff. Okay, replenishment rate up, that's fine, I guess. And the brass cleaver is also fine. I believe we have more lords and heroes who could use a weapon than we have weapons right now, so any new weapon we find is valuable. Alright, you guys should just continue to push this way. Apparently we're going to have to fight a bunch of elves, so let's be ready for that. Your job is now to... we don't actually want to slow down the move out of the woods here. I want them to come out of the woods. But get over here and be ready to do stuff. You know, it always feels good to beat up on some elves. I think we are ready to do this. Right, you head over there with him. Nubzub should probably do the same thing. So the best Wood Elf units are very good, to be fair. They have some powerful stuff. We're gonna need this for sure. And I mean, like, this has to get maxed out. That's pretty important. So we could actually have some trouble with Talsin. I'm not expecting to have trouble with Lorelorn. It's too small of a faction. They can't field enough bodies. We will overwhelm them through sheer mass. And since I found all this gold and everything... Nope, still no, huh? Alright, we're going to be able to give a lot of gifts here. $128 points of gifts given. If we weren't doing this, we could max out some more settlements, but honestly, the benefit of doing so is pretty marginal. We're not going to get a lot out of Middenheim going from level 3 to level 5. Oh. Well. The Dark Elves attacked Clan Moors. I'm going to enter the war on the side of Clan Moors. This is gonna have some effects. So first of all, that does cause us to break our non-aggression pact. Also, yeah, wow, they really got us with this one, huh? We're gonna fight this battle manually. There's a chance we could win this. I'm not... Boy, it's a lot of elves, is the thing. We might be losing this army here, though. This is gonna give us an awful lot of opportunity to make friends with the rats, I'll tell you that. So, I don't remember what our strength rank was when we were in WoW mode. It was like 5 or something. We're probably less now that we have half the units. But a lot of the time, we're going to be up there, right? So it's us and strength rank 2 against the strength rank 1 player. This could be a hell of a war. I'm definitely a lot... I think war against the Dark Elves is definitely a lot more interesting for us than the war against Clan Moors would be, just because of the way the territory works out and stuff. Boy, I'm not sure how we want to deploy here. This army doesn't have a catapult or anything, so we lost our siege stuff. So we don't really have a range advantage on them. I mean, we have to approach them. They have archers and stuff. We might want to try to come up through the trees just to limit the effectiveness of their archers against our very large, very shootable units. And remember, the spiders don't get slowed by the trees, the way most large things do. They didn't have any cavalry, right? I'm actually going to put these guys over here. We'll see if we can distract them a little bit. Okay, so first things first, this. Second, so they have 3 characters on flying horses. They have 3 characters who are flying near some flying horses. That's just it's a very awkward, it's a stylish thing where they come from. They think it looks really cool. You know, sometimes other cultures, what your culture thinks looks cool is maybe different than theirs. So they do have 2 Reaper bolt throwers. We gotta approach pretty quickly, but I really do think we want to use the trees as cover as best we can here. So we're going to have to do this a little bit manually. I do not trust my units to stick to the trees, even if we give them a multi-point move order. I just don't. They're not smart enough. So we're gonna try to do this manually, and you are gonna come up here and hopefully just be a great big distraction. That's what we need, is a great big distraction at this moment. If he can draw the attention of basically any enemy units, it's going to be good enough. So the spiders are pretty fast, and they're not slowed by the forest movement. Our other units are going to be slowed a little bit by the forest. They're having to move around the trees and stuff. So the spiders are going to get there first, and they're probably just going to have to commit right away, because otherwise we're going to suffer an awful lot of ranged fire. Alright, they do have dark shards with shields over here. These are crossbow troops. Frankly, if you just want to show me some archers, I'll charge archers with a pump wagon. Okay, so here we go. Here is the commit. Black Ark Corsairs are just normal sword infantry. They're not terribly impressive. We do have some guys with handbows. Honestly, I'm not hugely afraid of these dudes. 43 attack, 30 defense. They have reasonable armor. Oh, one thing we do have to watch out for. Once the elves have killed enough orcs, they're all going to turn purple for a little while. During the purple time, they have bonus stats. I'm not 100% sure how that works. Yeah, this. So it's a pretty significant number of bonus stats. Which try to kill them. Just try to kill them fast. You know, they can't use their bonus attack stats if they've been murdered. Alright, so Rachnik Spiderclaw, the Spider King. Let's run at somebody. We need these Arachnarok spiders to commit really hard. Fortunately, these guys don't have a ton of spear units. It looks like just one, and Dread Spears are a tier 1 infantry unit. So they don't have a lot of bonus anti-large. They're going to have a hard time killing the Arachnarok spiders, which is very important for us. Yeah, just run through. I'm assuming that Rachnik's going to be a good fighter. And at this point, I see no reason to continue advancing. Some of our troops are going to be in the open. We can all be in the open. Basically, just run forward. The archers should probably focus on burning down. Well, shooting at another archer unit that has shields is probably going to lead to some pretty bad trades. Oh, Sisters of Slaughter. These are a marauder type unit that does not have any armor on. Those are probably the smart targets for you. You guys, I don't know, that way. Then we have our classic archers, all of whom, remember, have loonies, so we do need them to get pretty close. Remember, the trolls are way faster than they are. There's not going to be any danger to them in approaching that closely. All right, this is going to get pretty ugly pretty fast. Summon a great big bad moon on him. Come on, go that way. Oh, it's going in the right direction. Hey, maybe go this way. Hold up. I'm gonna put these guys in skirmish mode, and they can just. We should pull a unit of trolls back. I didn't realize I had given so little attention to that flank. I thought I had Rachnik. Where is Rachnik? I thought I had him pointed more this way. Alright, well, let's get some random spiders down. Yeah, a unit of trolls will be good enough to hold this. And then we might want to have... I'm going to have one of the units of Night Goblins report this way so we can hit some loonies over here. We should probably have some Black Orcs on the run toward these guys as well. Now that we have a little bit better of an idea of what their formation looks like, because the way they fell back and everything, we can commit the Black Orcs toward actual targets. I think there's a chance. We might be okay here. Alright, as soon as we've made actual contact, give the itchy nuisance. Alright, the pump wagon's doing some okay work. Not quite as much as I would like. We should definitely not stand around and get attacked. We are unfortunately seeing some morale issues down here already. And the pump wagon is not outrunning my enemies the way I would like it to. Alright, continue casting spells. Probably not sneaky stabbing. We can Vindictive Glare some of their lords, I suppose. I'm not super happy about, like, this. Why is your leadership going all to hell when you are clearly the biggest and scariest thing on this side of the battle? Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Alright, you guys need to drop some... Actually, maybe we don't really need to drop loonies. It looks like this is under control. A lot more than I expected it to be. One of their lords just like ran down in here. That's a pretty dumb plan. You guys need to get closer because we do need to drop some loonies like here. And unfortunately, the trolls are probably taking damage mostly from archers on the approach. I mean, I said unfortunately because it's bad for them to get attacked in ways they can't retaliate against, but also that means that most of the damage they've taken on their approach they've already taken it, right? Like it's they're not going to keep taking damage at that speed. All right, so you guys stay on that. Okay. Rachnik has frenzied. These Sisters of Slaughter with the whips, they cause your units to go into a frenzy and be unable to break off the attack, which is fine. We'll just have those guys run around for a bit. These fanatics should maybe get a little bit closer up here. It does look like we are mostly winning. Is Rachnik... I have no idea how long that Fury's going to last, but we can't cast spells while it's active, so it needs to stop. You guys have your loonies. Nope, they got frenzied somehow, despite the fact that they're not in melee with the thing that does that. That's a little annoying, and not how it's supposed to work. Okay, these spiders have turned around. This pump wagon is remarkably, like... Aren't the pump wagons very fast? Isn't that their whole thing? Why are you getting caught so easily? He has 74 speed compared to 36 and 44. Yeah, that's... I mean, we can watch. We can see them moving around. They are not moving faster than the things that are chasing them, and I don't know why. You guys stay on there, Cowardly Lord. You guys need to push up. But this is going pretty well so far. Yeah, you stay on the Lord. I'm pretty annoyed by this frenzied archers thing, because that should not have happened. You guys can come over here. Now their characters are definitely a thing to be concerned about. Dark Elf characters are very elite in the same way that High Elf characters are quite elite. So. We'll throw up a quick itchy nuisance here. And then pull some time off of our cooldowns. Okay. A lot of this is going pretty well. The Cowardly Lords... I hate the flying units. What are you guys doing? Attack. Huh. Why can I not get you to issue an attack order? There we go. That's pretty weird that they just, like, were refusing to attack. Not what I was expecting to have happen. Actually, you know what? They have another Cowardly Lord who needs to be constantly receiving missile fire. And in fact, we should probably have these guys also focused on just shoot characters. Getting rid of their characters is going to be the only hard part of this remaining, it looks like. We do have the gaze, the vindictive glare, rather. That should be pretty good against characters. And there's really not a huge number of enemies left anywhere to justify... Yep, our pump wagon got killed completely. You need to get over here and help with this stuff. Their Lord landed. Get on him. Rachnik, throw up some more spiders somewhere. Never mind. Here's your job. Okay. That should all be pretty well handled. Looks like that Lord's about to die. That's not a Lord. Sorry, that's a hero. That hero is about to die. Actually, we should just have a giant chase some archers around. We're taking a lot of damage here, but it looks to me like we should have this. Back to you. Okay. Seeing some permanent breaks. Yep, there it is. Alright, they had us tired and out in the open and everything, and I don't think that went very poorly at all. We lost the pump wagon because... maybe snow slows you? I don't think that's the case, but for some reason that pump wagon was moving very, very slowly. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Oh, we do have to remember, we have the units from the WA. We have the big ones, too. This was a big WA success, so we should probably figure out what we want to do with... It's a big lava spider and some other kind of monster, right? Maybe like a double wyvern? You know those wyverns that are like... But what if there was more than one of them? It's like a wyvern hydra, a flying hydra. I'd take a flying hydra. So, I think the Dark Elves do not have guns. The Elves have a lot of elite ranged troops, but they all use bows. And bows are not super good against Black Orcs. I think they're going to find that that is a problem for them. Tamarith didn't come from very far away, so I'm going to assume if she goes into full sail mode, she can probably get away from us. Oh, she didn't move again, though. Huh. Well, that's a bad idea. She should have run. She desperately needs to have run. Well, okay. So we're gonna finish her army off real quick there before we head back to Erengrad to play defense. Now I wonder if we should try to pursue peace with the Wood Elves. I don't really want to have another front. We should kill Lorelorn. But the Wood Elves in Athaloran down near the mountains over here, we should maybe try to get that peace treaty going. I was not expecting the Dark Elves to suddenly turn on Clan Moors. I thought they liked each other. Well, I guess when you're at the top of the pile, you just declare war on whoever's in second place to keep them from catching you. I don't think that's going to turn out to have been a successful strategy, but what else were they going to do, I guess, just sit around? So the Khemri are also at war with them. That's maybe actually going to matter. I would ordinarily say that the Khemri being at war with the Dark Elves is kind of a nothing, because they are on opposite sides of the map. But with the Dark Elves controlling... Oh, you stole my kill! Jerk. With the Dark Elves controlling so much of Ulthuan, the Khemri can actually reach Ulthuan. Right, please tell me that Phaonix's army is gonna... he's not gonna ride out. He's gonna make me come over there and get him. I don't want to do that. I have stuff to do. Well, I guess killing you is on the way toward the stuff I have to do, though. So yeah, we're just gonna 3-stack him, I guess. We have the ability. He's got 18 units, and this army is okay. Glade Guard, you can see here, not great combat stats. 32 attack, 35 defense. Pretty squishy, not a lot of armor. They do have poison arrows, but this army doesn't really have a lot of, fighting guys. They have some Wildwood Rangers who are okay. 64 attacks, great. 45 defense, obviously, less so. But this army's going to have a hard time standing and fighting, I think. So who do we want to get? What are the things? Okay, it's a normal Hydra. Fiery breath, multiple heads, causes terror, regenerates, and a lava spider. A great big Arachnarok lava spider. That's pretty exciting. And then we also have a fair number... You know what? He should get a catapult. That's what that slot should be for Rachnik. He should absolutely have a catapult. And we probably just want to take orc buffs? Yeah, or giants and trolls, I suppose. His army got real monstery at some point. So trolls, giants, rogue idols, and Arachnarok spiders. You know what? Honestly, this might be the right way to go for him. So I'm not at war with you, right? How do you feel about me? It's bad. It's bad. It might be war at any moment. The only reason they haven't declared war on us is because they think we'd kill them, basically. And to be fair, they're 100% right about that. So this is probably Clan Molder. I guess we want to just, with Rachnik, just push westward. Do they have... They do have little outposts in the mountains. So they could, in theory, form up an army and then ride on us if we don't leave somebody to play defense. But I'm gonna throw caution to the wind here a little bit. I am gonna stay on my side of the line because we do still need a little bit of healing. But this is a friendly sea zone, so as long as we stay in here, we're cool. Azhag. Okay, so we can't actually go all out on these guys just yet. Can Wazhampa... Where's Wazhampa's normal movement range end? Okay. Not as much movement as I would like. I think we're just gonna ball up here. And Oglok can show up as well. They will not ride out to attack 60 with their 20, and then we'll siege them in and get through this pretty quickly, hopefully. Fert, yeah, just start removing characters. Let's limit the number of annoying things they can do to us. I think we should have no problem with Lorelorn. Sozpug, all of a sudden, you're headed this way. So we do have to watch out for, like, the Marienburg area, because the Dark Elves from Ulthuan could sail there very quickly. So I'm going to move some of our characters in that direction. I mean, like, you can see the distance here is relatively small. They have the Shrine of Cain and Tor Korwali. We don't exactly know what the deal is with these. Presumably they're not actually empty. May well be Skaven. I mean, honestly, it might be Clan Moors. Hard to say. Oh, speaking of Clan Moors, we have money again, and we have even more positive reputation incoming. You know you want this alliance. Oh hey, we pushed them up to strength rank 1 by weakening the Dark Elves. Alright, I'm gonna do it. We're gonna push. Sorry, you gotta hit this button first. Trend toward 192. So War with the Cult of Pleasure is only worth 15 points, and we don't have any points for military actions against the Cult of Pleasure. I guess that's maybe you only get points for that for battles that you initiated. A defensive might not count. And then, yeah, absolutely. Money-making structures. Very important. Here, we should probably... I mean, how much does this matter? Yeah, okay, build it up, fine. Now I'm a little bit more worried about the Dark Elves. We do need to get people over to, like, Wrecker's Point and Arnau. 8 turns off of having Marienburg. At least having enough population to start capping Marienburg. It is reasonable to think that we could get a fair amount of money out of this war. And, God, fingers crossed that it's going to be enough to get the Skaven on side. And if we get the Skaven on side and we're able to take, like... If we end up sailing across the world and taking some, maybe some of the Ulthuan cities from the Dark Elves, maybe their capital from them, we could get a couple more cities from the big objective list that way. Clan Moors is doing an awful lot of stuff that is all off camera for us. And it's probably worth noting that, like, even if this doesn't turn into us getting our military alliance, and it damn well should, it's still pretty good for us in terms of motivating their armies to move away from the sensitive parts of our empire. We can wait until they're all in the west fighting Dark Elves and then stab them in the back. They're Skaven, they'll appreciate that. It looks like the Khemri are actually getting a pretty solid foothold over in Lustria. I'm very happy to see that. So we probably don't need to stop and attack that settlement. Clan Moulder's going to do it for us. Although, with their army the size that it is and taking attrition damage, I don't know if we can trust that they'll get the job done. It's not a very good army either. But this is a pretty small garrison. So a single unit of cav... Yeah, that's not a very impressive army. Alright, first things first. Lorelorn. Do we want to do a frontal attack, or do we want to try some shenanigans? Because, I mean, obviously, fighting them in their big tree is not totally ideal. Lightning Strike doesn't work here because all of their stuff is inside the settlement, so for now, just encircle. And then we have Oglok come in as well. No, honestly, Wazampa's army is pretty strong. At some point, this became a real force. Okay, so that's something we'd probably want to do manually. And I think we should be able to. So they do have some Glade Riders, Missile Cavalry, pretty bad against actual missile units, but pretty good against, like, big stuff. They'll be able to outrun our trolls while continually plinking at them. And then they got all this poison and whatnot. Out of curiosity, if I move Oglok up, I don't think I would actually want to do the battle this way, but I'm kind of curious if it'll just give us a quick auto-resolve win. Yeah, it totally will. Okay. I'll take that, because we got important things to do. We got Dark Elves to fight. Also, hey, that's money. Alright, go ahead and take this back, and that'll eliminate that faction. Boy, what do we want here? Well, money making, we probably don't need a boss tent here, but also, why not build one? And then I don't think we need to build anything aside from that. I think we're good there. We're still at max population, so let's just do this. Yeah, that should be fine. And they made just enough holes in Ozhag's army for us to fill them with powerful Wog troops. So I'm gonna have Oglok head down here and Wazhampa move for like Wrecker's Point. This definitely needs to develop actual defenses. Not sure why I had not noticed that that needed to happen, but that desperately needs to happen. And then, hey, Skaven. I found all this gold. Would you like it? You gotta be kidding me. At some point, we saw likelihood of success moderate when we were much weaker than we are now, and the value is much lower, and I don't know what's going on. You can overcome these things with gold. I have done it before. It usually doesn't take this long. And Rachnik, I think, disregards the Longship Graveyard and heads for Ice Drake Fjord. Do I want to be in full sail mode, though? I think let's move in normal mode so that we're not tired. See, sailing too fast makes all of your units tired for combat, even though that doesn't make any sense. You're going to need to get up here and help us explore Norska. I think your job is the same thing, actually. So yeah, just get out in the ocean. We'll figure it out later. You're headed toward the Marienburg area, and probably a lot of our other units are doing that as well. We'll have him run up here. This orc can go... There we go. Nubs up. This orc can go this way. Okay, still no reason to upgrade Tempelhof. I'm debating. Maybe it's worth delaying things a little bit to get Arno better defended. No, I really want that upgrade. I really want that port. You're good. And so I guess we're good. I mean, there's no reason not to give... There's no reason to sit on 30,000 gold and give them a second gift next turn. Well, we could just give it to them this turn, right? 164 becomes 204. Yeah, that works. 137 trending toward over 200. Damn it, give me my alliance. You know you want to. If this war puts us in a position where we can maintain the alliance with a little bit of money and a lot of fighting common enemies, and that we can end the game, like actually fill out our objective list before the war comes to an end, then I think we're going to be pretty solid. If the war comes to an end, it is going to make it harder to maintain our stuff. Okay, Clan Wars confederates Clan Mulder, that's fine. That works out okay for us. Our treaties with Clan Mulder, I think we're giving us a little bit of positive reputation with the big clan, but it's probably not going to be a huge difference. So we did lose some points there. You guys should feel free to actually, like, show up to battle. They're going to make me handle this whole coast by myself. They're probably fighting on Ulthuan, so it's not like they're doing nothing. I have no sense of how many armies to expect from the Dark Elves. They seem to have pretty comparable military power. Like you can see during our last turn, Clan Moors was already back down at strength rank 2. But the Dark Elves have a lot fewer settlements in total, like half as many. So we're probably going to see a much smaller number of armies. And part of that also is that the Dark Elf troops are, by and large, more expensive per turn than the Skaven troops. 3,000 gold for 4 points of Chaos Corruption in all provinces for 5 turns. I'm not going to... 3,000 gold's not worth endangering anything for. Let's grab this. Ooh. You know what? I will defeat a foe in battle for a horde of... Wow, that's a very small foe. Yeah, we'll take that. Leadership +2 when fighting at sea. He's becoming the greatest goblin pirate the world has ever known. 8,000 gold is not bad. Here's the thing. I don't actually want Ice Drake Fjord. We're going to ride over here and take it. Well, okay, we're going to take it next turn. For right now, just raid. But I don't want to live there. So we'll probably just burn it down. I'll let the Skaven live in it if they want. It is worth noting that if we continue to gain territory, our great power modifier will continue to go up and people will like us even less. If we just burn stuff down, we don't have that problem. Do we want you out on the sea? I mean, I think I want to just be burning down their stuff out here. I think that makes sense. So we'll put a lot of pressure on them. I'm not sure exactly what I want Uglok to do. It might end up being the case that the smart move is to have him just get in the ocean. There's points of interest to explore, and then also we can maybe fight some elves over there. And then you... I'm not going to have him grab... Well, maybe I do want him to take both. So what does his army really need? His army really needs Black Orcs, honestly. Wow, look at the number of global recruitment slots we have. We have built a lot of the buildings that let you do that effectively. Does Middenheim? No, Middenheim does not have a Black Orc building. The closest one is in Altdorf. And we're only talking about saving a single turn by doing that. So I'm gonna take a full turn's movement. We're gonna go into raiding mode here, which gives us access to the global pool. We'll just pull in 2 units of Black Orcs this way, and also I'll take the Hydra, and somebody else can take the Lava Spider. And you are getting up in the ocean. Yeah, head over here. I'm not sure where the best place to put you is. I guess we should have somebody try to run through this pass over here. Keep an eye on what's going on in the northeastern part of the north. Huglug, you should... I don't know, man. We got a lot of ground to cover. A lot of ground and water to cover. There's just a lot of directions that the Dark Elves could come at us from. Alright, still don't care about this. Still don't care about this. You can turn off these notifications. I do want to upgrade these settlements eventually, you know, just not right now. Norden should definitely get that finished. Okay. How are we doing with these guys? 158. Still red. They'll be more likely to seek a military alliance with us if they need it. There's a bunch of different factors that go into whether the AI is interested in allying with you. If they were doing poorly in their war, they'd be more likely to go after this, but you can absolutely, even if they don't need it to survive, just overwhelm their lack of need with positive opinion. It might be nice if the Dark Elves could win a couple of major military victories, though. And honestly, there's no reason to think that shouldn't happen. Dark Elf troops are massively more favored by the auto-resolve than Skaven troops. Skaven troops get a real bad rap from the auto-resolver. And then on top of that, we know that a bunch of these Skaven armies are poorly built as well. So they should really, really lose in open combat against elves. It's just a matter of the elf armies actually getting to them. I do not like how little we know about what's going on Ulthuan. If we get the military alliance going, that it would solve that problem. We would have vision of all of his stuff. If we do get the military alliance going with Clan Moors and the Court of Liberis will not ally with us so that we get control of Nagashazar, we could just declare war on them and drag Clan Moors into it, and Clan Moors could easily consume them and take Nagashazar for us. I'm not going to say that that's plan A, but it is a thing we could do if we have to. The Cult of Pleasure has performed the sacrifice to Mathlan. So they have a black arc. They probably have a bunch of black arcs. We haven't had to talk about... I don't really think I've interacted with black arcs on very many occasions. But they're basically like floating cities. I'm curious to see what it's like to have to interact with them. Alright, you get up here and attack Pack Ice Bay, or alternately, just don't. You guys are landing right next to the settlements instead of attacking them is a real bummer. Alright, let's sack it. That's 30,000 gold. And then I can't burn it, right? Yeah, and I don't want to occupy it. I'm just gonna spend a turn right here. We'll burn it down next turn. I have no interest in living in the frozen wastes. And Oglok, get in the water. I like this, though. We have direction here. Do we need another body up here? So we're sending one hero in the direction of Isling's Conclave. I guess so. Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of north to keep an eye on. Fortunately, we have access to underway movement, which is going to make it a lot easier to get around up there. If you're playing like one of the human factions, if you're playing Bretonia or Reichland or something, and you end up in the north, it's a nightmare to maneuver. Both because you take attrition damage constantly, and because of the fact that it's all mountains and really narrow paths, and there's no passes where you would want there to be passes. Hey, Skaven. Still red. Still red, but he says we could shower him in gifts. I'm gonna do it. Look at the showering. Even more gifts. At some point, we should probably start using this stuff as negotiating currency. So we're headed toward 296 right now. I'm strength rank 3. He's strength rank 2. And is it the Dark Elves are still 1? The Dark Elves are still 1. They only have 45 settlements. But they're probably getting a lot more gold per settlement than the Skaven are. My guess is a lot of Clan Moors' stuff in the Badlands down south is producing effectively no value. I do wish that there was a separate term you could negotiate for, so that you don't have to have a proper military alliance to have vision of what your defensive allies are doing. Shared vision would be really helpful. I basically have no idea what's going on anywhere in the world where the Dark Elves actually are, and we have reason to believe that there are Clan Moors armies like over on Ulthuan and stuff. They could be giving me useful intelligence here. Alright, it does look like they're pushing through the north pretty quickly, so we maybe don't have to worry too much about the Dark Elves coming in near Hell Pit. Of course, we do still have to worry about the Norskins, but if they declare war on us, they declare war on Clan Moors, and that's not going to work for them. Probably they will try to just keep their head down while all of this murdering is happening. So I might want to go fast forward during some people's turns. I'd like to be normal speed during the Dark Elf turn. And that's, I mean, that might be it, actually. The Dark Elf and maybe Clan Moors. Mission failed. Yeah, I am not paying attention to my missions. I will tell you that right now. Still red. Out of curiosity, if I were to also offer you 27,000 gold, how would you feel about that? 681. Still low. Okay, well, there's a non-zero chance, looking at our objectives list and everything, there's a non-zero chance that the turn we managed a military alliance from them, we would instantly win the game. It could happen, because they control a bunch of stuff down here too. The Oak of Ages is still a city that's on the list. They control Miragliano, they control Skaven Blight. They don't have Sartosa. We should have, who is it down here? We should have Oglock go down there and take Sartosa. Yeah, alright, I think that's his plan. But yeah, it's entirely possible that if we actually managed to get the alliance set, we would instantly win. We're so close. We are still so close. That is going to have to be it for us for today, and thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, tomorrow, we're maybe going to spend some of this 500 scrap I have. Probably so the troops would appreciate that. And we're going to keep pushing. I believe that this alliance can happen. And we'll see you then.